I worked in the selling clothes in fashion for a long time while I was raising my first daughter. And then I moved to New York and I wanted to work on movies. And it was sort of like my second life in a way. So I started, asking around. I worked for different people doing like sewing labels on sweaters and stuff in Soho. And my friend Kimberly was working that summer for her mom on ragtime. And I said, oh my gosh, if you guys need any help, I'll do anything, I'll just work for free, whatever. And they said they were crewed up as usual. And then the day this other PA in the art department was supposed to start work, they didn't show up for work. And they called me, and that was before cell phones or beepers or any of that stuff. And they called me, and I luckily was by the phone number that I had, and I got my first job.
Howdy, Rumi.
Wednesday, this is Enid Sinclair.
Are you feeling okay? You look a little pale.
Wednesday always looks half dead.
Welcome to Ophelia Hall. Not a hugger. Got it.
Please excuse Wednesday. She's allergic to color.
Oh, wow. What happens to you?
I break out into hives and then the flesh peels off my bones.
Luckily, we've special ordered you a uniform. Enid, please take Wednesday to the registrar's office to pick it up along with a copy of her schedule and give her a tour along the way.
I was also always interested in fashion, and my sister had a friend who she brought home one day, and I was working in construction. It was really strange. And anyway, this guy came with all these clothes on, and I found out that he'd made all his own clothes. So I applied to go to fashion college. I was quite fascinated by how people could take a bit of cloth and make some clothes out of it. So I really wanted to make my own clothes. So I ended up getting into fashion college, and I studied fashion for years. And then I went into tailoring and menswear and outerwear, and I got a job in a fashion company. And then I really wanted to move to London. So I applied for a job at the then BBC costume department as a costume maker. I had to go through this huge interview. I had to have 5 interviews. I had to sort of make a costume, I had to fit an actor, I had to do measurements, I had to do everything. Anyway, by luck by chance, there was 2 jobs going, and I got the job in the costume department as a costume maker.
Well, I worked with Mark on a lot of things over the years, so we knew each other really well going into Wednesday. I got called from Tim for Wednesday. I wanted someone to do it with me because I felt like I was spread a little thin, and I also really respected Mark, and I felt like he was totally capable of doing it even without me. We had a great team. There's a guy named Bobby Suter that helped us, who was also a very strong ACD with a great eye. And, we kind of got compiled together a team of people that really helped us get it done.
Yeah, and when Colleen mentioned she was doing, she'd been asked to do the Addams Family and Wednesday, it was like, to be honest with you, it was a bit like, because we'd worked together before, but doing the Addams Family and Wednesday Addams was a bit of a dream come true, because I was like a huge fan. I'd watched it and everything like that on the TV when I was young. And so yeah, same thing really, we'd worked together for so long and quite a number of years. And yeah, and it's always great working with Colleen, because even though we know each other, I always keep learning things from Colleen. So yeah, it's quite a big privilege.
Well, I think the deepest inspiration comes from the actual Charles Addams cartoon and the sort of tonality of them. Of course, we watched all the other Addams families, having watched most of them before, but just kind of revisiting. But we really wanted it to, and especially Wednesday, to be she wasn't a child anymore, which is a big point. You know, before she was always quite young, to be something that, you know, that was her own person, that was sort of resonated with people today. And between, you know, that tonality and Jenna's amazing performance, I think we came up with a Wednesday Addams that was of our time, or you know, more contemporary than the other kind of pigeonholed sort of Addams family. We made them, I think, more of a family, which kind of was our goal with the whole thing.
Yeah, it was, I think also it's that thing is, you know, when we first see Wednesday, it was having that iconic image, wasn't it, really? And then when she settles into the school, moving her forward. But also it's that thing of, I think, someone who people could associate with, you know, she doesn't feel that far removed from society, you know, because the Addams family was such a dark family, and that, you know, there was always in there, but now they were sort of integrated into the real world. I think it was good that, you know, we made her more associated to her generation, you know. I think that was a big thing.
I think it's using texture, juxtaposition of light and dark, position of where the black and white is, and all those things. And it, you know, it became a thing where we're sort of in the beginning, we'd go, oh God, you know, what can we do? And then as the shoppers went out and found stuff, and as we made stuff, it kind of came together in a way that felt it felt black and white, but it didn't feel like a costume. It just felt like clothes that were black and white, that looked cool, but that kind of felt real, you know, which was a big goal. It didn't want it to be like the red people, or the, you know, everybody's got a color kind of vibe at all.
The other thing was when, because Wednesday does a lot of action stuff, and, you know, in different scenes, in different episodes, she's in different scenarios. So it's just adapting a costume for different scenes and different movements and different, you know, because at some point she's, you know, she needed to look stealth when she gets into the morgue, and, you know, Tim didn't want her to wear any white, so he just wanted it all in black. And you know, when she's in a dorm, we had different looks for that as well, so she was a bit more relaxed. So it's also trying to figure out which would work in different scenes.
Its story is this: I was shopping on Bond Street in London, walking by the Elias store, and I saw it in a window, and I was like, I've been looking for a dress. Think we'd been talking about a dress. Was it a vintage dress we redid? It had to be viable, that it's something that she could get there. You know, how far can we push that without it, you know, and make it something special? And I saw this dress, and I was with one of my assistants who's really tiny. And I went inside and I asked if she could try it on. And I had her dance around in it and do stuff in it in the store. I'm sure they thought we were totally insane. But I was like, I couldn't cut. It was so perfect for the thing. And I was really excited. I called Mark and I said, I think I found it. I can't believe it. It's really expensive. Like, what do you think? You know, because it was a big spend. And also, there was only one in the world. They only made one, and we had it. So that put pressure on our workroom, because they had to create multiples for it because of the rain and all that. So, and it's I knew where the fabric had come from, because I worked with the fabric the dress was made out of before.
The dress also, you know, that dress is also made up, it's not just like one dress, it's made up of so many hundreds of pieces. Like, each flounce is one separate piece, so the dress isn't actually joined together, the skirt isn't joined together, so each piece had to be made individually, and every little seam had to be done. So we had to recreate 3 more of those dresses, And the man hours that went into that was just unbelievable. But when Colleen phoned up and said she'd found this dress, because, you know, they wanted it to look like a vintage dress also in Uriah's heap. So it's that thing. And when they put it in the window in the store, everyone was just like, I thought it was the perfect thing, perfect dress for the perfect place.
Well, I think we had the thing that really worked great for us, I think, and I think Mark would agree, was we had a little seance at Tim's house early on. And we started with Wednesday with a hair and makeup from kind of more a fashion hair and makeup team. And we sort of figured out their looks together. We started with Wednesday. We did, you know, we figured out what her hair would be. We got into the school uniform thing and the other, you know, 5 or 6 other, her casual dorm look, what these looks would be. And then we had Enid come a couple hours later, and we sort of did the same thing with her. So it was really great from the start. We sort of designed them in tandem.
I think Enid was really fun to shop for. You know, there was so much out there that, you know, it was like being in a toy store sometimes. You know, there's so much stuff and all the textures and everything like that. And also, you know, what a great actor to dress. You know, she sort of stood up to the mark with it all and everything, and really brought it to life. You know, both of those girls did really bring it to life so good. No, I've just finished a movie here in the UK, which is from a graphic novel called Here. It's Bob Zemeckis' movie, which goes from 1607 to 200 years in the future, all shot in 7 weeks. So yeah, I've just finished that. Now I'm having a bit of a break, really.
And I'm in production on Beetlejuice right now. So we're just, we're in pre-production, but we start in like 2 weeks or something scary like that. That it changes all the time, that every time you get a costume design film that you're going to do, it's a new world, it's a new kind of exciting thing to learn more about. And, you know, you compile great crews of people. It's a really hard job and it's a lot of pressure and stuff, but it's a really fun, creative process. And I still love it very much.
Yeah, it's just that, you know, I love it when you start a job and you're creating characters, and, you know, that you go through that process of finding fabrics and everything like that, and then you do the fitting. It's just that whole creative process is just, you know, it's so fulfilling. And then, you know, yeah, as Colleen said, it is really hard work, but, you know, that sense of achievement that you have at the end, you know, that you never think you're going to get there, and then all of a sudden there you are, you know, and what you've created, you know, I think, and it's going to last such a long time. I think there's that sense of achievement at the end. And also, you know, as Colleen said, you know, it's so diverse, you work with so many different people, so many creative people, so, you know, you never know what you're going to get, and I think that makes it really exciting.